sports.
Somewhere over the Rainbow Bridge that spans Harbor Drive, Petco Park, the Padres host the Giants tonight. Game 2. The Giants 3.5 behind the Dodgers, getting superb offense from young second baseman Joe Panik. And the Padres, Matt Kemp, 8-game hitting streak, 4 home runs the last 7 games, including a 2-run shot to help the Padres to a 4-2 win last night. And welcome to Game 2 at beautiful Petco Park, downtown San Diego. It's the Padres and the rivals from the NL West, the San Francisco Giants. Look at the records, 49-44 and 44-49. And good evening, everyone. With Mark Grant, Dick Enberg, we're pleased you're with us on this Tuesday night. The Padres, they're pleased. A 5-game winning streak, their longest of the year. And the Giants have had trouble here. They've lost 7 of the last 8 at Petco.
Hopefully they can keep that rolling, the Padres, and hopefully they can keep rolling the good pitching and the timely hitting that the Padres have produced in Game 2 of this series against the Giants.
And the Padres have a giant killer on the mound tonight.
They do. The guy by the name of Odrisamer Despaigne. What is it about the Cuban-born right-hander that does so well? Well, his last start against the St. Louis Cardinals was on July 4th. And it was hot, it was humid, but he went 5 innings, 1 earned run, 3 Ks, 1 walk. It was intentional, so he was around the plate. But look at the numbers against the Giants. A minuscule 0.91 ERA. Kind of looks like my grade point average in high school. But anyway, what he does so well, strike one. I'll tell you what, Dick, if he falls behind with his fastball, his breaking ball, he better make darn sure that he throws his off-speed stuff for strikes later in the count. So it's all about strike one and then put him away with that breaking stuff or the good changeup from Despaigne.
He's been on a scoreless streak against the Giants, 15 2/3 consecutive innings without allowing a run. Well, Matt Kemp is the RBI leader for the Padres, and he's also becoming the leader with RBIs. Chris Button with that story when we return to Petco. Matt Kemp, and Solarte will touch them all.
And that one is hit a ton. You can forget about it.
And the Padres have their longest winning streak of the season.
The Padres are rolling, hoping to make it 6 in a row tonight, and Matt Kemp continues to be the storyline in this second half. Another 2-run shot yesterday. That's now his 4th home run in just the last 8 games. Pat Murphy said yesterday, it's not just what he's contributing on the field, it's what you don't see off the field. So I talked to some of his teammates, and they say what he's providing and the spark that he gives this team.
He leads by example. I mean, this guy comes to the yard every day and plays hard, and he gets his work in, and he takes his craft very seriously. He's very hard on himself, but he's definitely a good teammate.
He's a guy that's been around. He's a guy that's done it. He's a guy that's won. I think in generally, for speaking for all the guys here, we got a lot of guys that are winners. And when you have that type of vibe and that type of energy every single day in the locker room, it just feeds off on the lines. So for us, it's just continuing to have good energy, go out there and win and do our part.
And hopefully we'll see more of that tonight. It helps with Justin Upton not in the lineup again to have that hot bat of Matt Kemp as the Padres now try and make it 6 in a row. They stopped the streak yesterday of the Giants. Can they continue theirs? We got first pitch. Odrisamer Despaigne back on the mound. First pitch coming up on Fox Sports San Diego.
Mercury Insurance. Log on to mercuryinsurance.com today and see how much you could save. By Petco, what we feed them matters. By Jerome's Furniture, where Jerry's price is the lowest price every day. No phony sales, it's just pure value. And by SeaWorld. Discover the wonder of the sea. A pleasant night, a bit muggy as the Padres take the field for the middle game of this 3-game series with the Giants on the season. The Padres have won 6 and San Francisco with 5 victories. 76 degrees, a bit warmer than normal, and some humidity as we're set to go. Padres take the field, and here's the Giants lineup brought to you by Hyundai. A lineup that is without one of the top players in baseball. Angel Pagan leads off, then Joe Panik. Matt Duffy will hit third with Buster Posey not in the starting lineup. Hunter Pence moves up to the cleanup spot, then Brandon Belt, followed by Brandon Crawford. Gregory Blanco a solo home run last night. Then catcher Hector Sanchez for Panik behind the plate, or for Posey behind the plate, and Chris Heston, the no-hit pitcher, a rookie on the mound against Odrisamer Despaigne.
Hey, big series, big start. 14th for the Cuban-born right-hander. The Padres Scouting Report brought to you by Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air. Hey, anything, anytime. Yeah, he's got the heater. He's got the off-speed stuff, different arm angles, and early strikes. If he doesn't throw the early strikes, he better make sure he throws that other stuff, off-speed stuff, for strikes late in the at-bat.
His fastball success has been outstanding. 208 batting average against Despaigne's fastball. And here's the defense behind him, brought to you by your San Diego County Ford dealers. Much like last night, Venable moves to left field with Melvin Upton in center and Kemp in right. Solarte, Amaristo on the left side, Jerko at second, Alonso at first. And Derek Norris behind the plate for the Cuban right-hander from Havana. Angel Pagan checks in at 268.
Dick, you make a great point about the fastball of Despaigne. Opponents only hitting 208. That's a great thing to look for tonight. And he throws the fastball. If the Giants can connect, if they put it in play for a hit, maybe that 208 average will dip. Hopefully that's the case tonight.
Pagan much more successful from the other side of the plate, this switch hitter, hitting only 238 left-handed. And we are underway with a strike at 90 miles an hour. Buster Posey did a lot of stretching, remember, in the game last night, like a hamstring or back was bothering him. So he sits out at the start tonight.
Don't just sit there, bust a move. And hopefully he remains there the whole night, not come up to the plate for a big hit opportunity.
Foul back, 2 strikes on Pagan, with Panik and Duffy to follow, and the umpiring crew tonight. Chad Fairchild behind the plate with Holbrook, Gibson, and Fagan monitoring the bases. They had 2 strikes to Pagan. Slap foul.
I like it already how Despaigne is putting Pagan on the defense. Did you see that swing there? It wasn't a come out of your shoes type swing. He had to protect even though that ball was off the plate. That's what getting ahead 0-2 will do for you.
Padres with a solid quality start from Ian Kennedy last night. 6 innings, 2 runs, 6 hits. Oh, there's that slow 67-mile-an-hour curveball that had Pagan frozen but didn't fall into the strike zone. But that does set up the fastball.
Here it is. You mentioned in the open, somewhere over the rainbow. Oh, that rainbow pitch, almost a strike out of the hand of Odrisamer.
Well, maybe Despaigne will be awesome tonight.
I like it. The great and powerful.
1-2. And a looper over second baseman Jerko's head for a base hit. Ferris shoots a single, and that'll bring up Joe Panik. And a look at the keys to the game tonight, brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
Well, shoot for 6. Talking about the Padres winning 6 in a row. They are in quite a roll right now. Everything's coming together, starting to gel. The pitching, the hitting, and Despaigne slays the Giants. We talked about his career numbers against the San Francisco Giants. 2-0, a .91 ERA. Keep it up, OD.
Here's one of the budding stars in the National League, 24-year-old Joe Panik. One of 3 different Giants with a .317 batting average at this point in the year. He is a tough out. 3-11 against Despaigne in their head-to-head. There's last night's winner, Ian Kennedy.
Not a lot of base traffic against Ian last night, except for in the 5th inning. Pulling out the 4-2 victory.
You don't get Panik to swing and miss very often. He's one of the tough batters to strike out in the league. Seven home runs on the year. 24 years of age, from New York City. He was an honor student, attended St. John's University. He slaps that one down into souvenir corner. Well, first inning has been a trouble spot for Despaigne, and then the rest of the game he settles in. So try to get out of this first inning unscathed. Part of the problem, giving up the home run early. 3 of his 11 in the first.
Well, sometimes pitchers just have to find that groove. Sometimes it comes a little later. Quick inning would be nice here.
One sails off the plate, 1-2.
Another couple of keys: movement on the fastball and location of that fastball with the velocity. As Bruce Bochy looks on.
Giants 1 win away from half 100, resting 3.5 back of the Dodgers. Jerko with a great play. There's one. Back to first. Not in time. And it runs well out of that left side of the batter's box. And Jerko with a terrific stop. That ball headed to right field. Is that close enough to challenge? Pat Murphy, I believe, is going to challenge. And here's the play at first base. Yeah, before he, well, it's going to be close. Does he get the sole of that shoe on the front edge of the bag before the ball goes in the glove? That's a real bang bang play. And apparently will be ruled an out by the umpire at first base, Sam Holbrook, and no challenge now from Bochy. So a double play ball turned neatly, with Jerko making the stab start, and a good throw by Amarista to complete the twin killing. I'm surprised Bochy didn't challenge.
Yeah, you know, that second look we had, we have the luxury of the Phantom Cam. You see the slow motion, and when we had a look at it, I thought he was out. I thought it was a very good call by first base umpire Sam Holbrook, and they quickly get that down to the Giants clubhouse. They relay it quickly to the bench.
Matt Duffy, the angular third baseman, rookie, second best batting average of any National League rookie, .298. Yasmani Tomas of Arizona, leading rookie hitter in the National League at .304. But Duffy right behind. There's the slow curve, doesn't get the call. 2-1.
See Matt Duffy lunging towards that pitch as Hunter Pence waits on deck. It's almost like a slow pitch softball pitch, kind of jumping towards the pitcher. Let's see if he tries to surprise him with the two-seamer in on the fists.
There's a routine one-hopper to Jerko, and that's it for the Giants in the first inning. Coming up, the Padres, Jan Solarte to lead it off. To start things, no score. Padres turning the double play in the top of the first inning, and the San Diego lineup tonight brought to you by Toyota. Same as last night. Solarte, Amarista with Kemp hitting third. Jed Jerko the cleanup spot, replacing Justin Upton on the bench. So both teams have their cleanup hitter resting at the start tonight. Then Yonder Alonso, Derek Norris, Will Venable in left field. Melvin Upton Jr. had a key triple and a run scored late in the game last night, and Despagne on the mound.
Hey, this rookie right-hander is having one heck of a year. Scouting report for Chris Heston brought to you by Sleep Train. Fastball, slider, curveball, changeup. He works down in the zone. A leader in rookie categories for pitchers. Having one heck of a year, and he's got a no-hitter under his belt. How about that?
No hit the Mets in New York on June 9th. Solid 9-5 record. 1-1 to Solarte. Had a good night last evening with 3 hits, drove in a run, scored a run. 2-1. Now Heston, there's Tim Lincecum. He'll be sidelined into the weekend, they say. He's had some cortisone shots in his back.
Kind of short armor, huh? Brings that ball almost to the back of his cap.
Line to right field, but it's carrying to Hunter Pence. San Francisco aligns defensively this way. Brought to you by Renovation Realty. Blanco in left, Pagan in center, and Pence in right field. Duffy, Crawford, Panic, and Belt around the horn for the Giants, with Sanchez behind the plate. Alexi Amarista contributed last night. A couple of walks, scored a run, had a single, 1 for 2. Officially takes a strike. Heston, interesting story, because here he is as a rookie at the age of 27 and having a sensational season. And here's a man 2 years ago was out for grabs. Anyone could have taken him. He had been designated by the Giants, and he cleared waivers and stayed in the organization. What a break, huh?
Absolutely. A kid who works quickly. You know, he's only going to top out about 92, so he's going to live around 90 miles an hour. He tries to work down in the zone. And something that's interesting, I've noticed, he moves on the rubber. Right-handers will go from the third base side, and I noticed that against lefties, he'll go from the first base side to get that angle on the inside part of the plate.
Whoa, up and in at 91. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Heston is from Palm Bay, Florida, and attended East Carolina University. High again, 2-2.
So when Heston is on the rubber on this side, that's against left-handers. On this side of the rubber, right-handers. Not too many pitchers can do that now. They're set on one spot.
Ground ball to the third baseman, Duffy, near the line. The long throw is in time. Good play by the rookie third baseman. 2 out.
That's a big league play, picking up the rookie right-hander. And when you have the defense of the Giants, third fewest in the National League, yeah, pitchers can be very aggressive in the strike zone. And Dick, we talked about the no-hitter. It's a pretty nice line for the right-hander.
And he struck out the side in the 9th inning with 3 of his 11 strikeouts. And he leads all rookie pitchers in the majors with the 9 wins. 6'3" and 195 pounds. And here's Matt Kemp. 8-game hitting streak. Would have been 9, but for the rain out on Sunday that took away 2 doubles.
Look at the right-handers up. Look where his foot is. Moving over to the third base side.
A ball and a strike to Kemp. 4 doubles, 4 home runs in this 8-game hitting streak.
Interesting to keep an eye on the breaking balls down and away to Matt Kemp from Heston tonight, and the reaction of Matt Kemp.
Last night, Kemp going to the power alley in right center field with a 2-run shot that took the Padres from 1-0 down and gave them a 2-1 lead. Number 10 on the season for Kemp. Fooled on that off speed. 2-2. A curveball.
Yeah, it looked like some type of breaking ball there, out of the zone.
Shift on. Belt playing almost midpoint on the right side of the infield. And high again. Full count. Throwing around 92 tops in the fastball, but that ball jumps up there, doesn't it?
It does, and it's got some tremendous movement too. Against the right-handers, he'll try to bring it back across on the outside corner. Like that pitch there.
Right 3 called, and Kemp knew it. First strikeout for Heston. The Padres go in order. After 1 at Petco, no score.
Top of the second, Justin Upton out of the lineup again for the second day in a row. They do say that the pain is starting to diminish, but it's when he turns that he can really feel it in that left oblique. They are optimistic, though, the Padres, saying that he will be able to be back in the lineup during this homestand. One other note, Will Myers, they said, was going to start hitting at the end of the week, and that still looks like it's a possibility, which is some good news because it's only been about a month since he had the surgery to remove the bone spur in his wrist. And when they had the surgery for him, he said that it may take about 2 months to resume baseball activity. So the fact that he'll begin hitting off a tee, already taking some grounders on the field, is some good news for Will Myers.
Yeah, absolutely. If all the injured should come back by the 1st of August, things could be very bright for the Padres. Brandon Morrow about to go on a rehab. Tim Fedorovich is already down at El Paso. We get Myers back in the lineup.
Yes.
Pence 0-2.
And you know what, if I may editorialize for just 1 minute, I heart Will Myers. And when I see him in the clubhouse bouncing around like a little kid, he is itching to get back in that lineup. He cannot sit still. Got to get him back healthy and on that diamond.
It's a different team with him at the top of the order. Pence, 2 strikes. And the slider bounces. So the Padres will finish the 3-game series with the Giants. A day game tomorrow, a 12:30 start, fans. And if you can't make it, we'll be on the air. Fox Sports San Diego at noon. James Shields against Matt Cain. Cain back from injury. And then Miami in for a 4-game series over the weekend. Just outside. There they are. Posey not in the starting lineup. Had an RBI single last night. Had a couple of hits. And Matt Cain, the veteran right-hander, plagued by injuries the last few years. That ball is drilled to left center field, way back and gone. No doubt about it, as Pence tags one, his 5th of the year. And the Giants claim the early lead, 1-0, just as they did last night when Gregor Blanco hit a solo homer leading off the 3rd inning.
This one hurts because he had him 0-2. He bounces a breaking ball, but this one finds the heart of the plate. You hang a breaking ball with that big swing from Hunter Pence. Knob, barrel to follow. Hits it right on the sweet spot. Good extension. That's crushing a mistake.
And the mistake was not a fastball mistake.
Hanging curveball.
Brandon Belt, the first baseman, the hitter. One and one. Oh, that one was just crying out, hit me.
Chris Heston getting a little support in that dugout from his right fielder, Hunter Pence.
With Pence in the lineup, he injured most of the first half of the season. When he returned, the Giants are 19-7 with Pence in the lineup. I mean, he is such an important part of this World Series champion defending team. Softly hit in the shallow center and falls in front of Upton for a base hit. Belt with a bloop single. There it is. Without Pence, they're 7 games under 500 this year, but with him, 19-7.
Well, there are most definitely players out there that change the dynamic of any lineup. The proof is in the numbers with Hunter Pence when he is healthy as a Giant.
1.7 runs on an average more per game with Pence in the lineup, and that was a blast. 434 feet. Brandon Crawford, former UCLA star. He's had a big home run year with a dozen. Ground ball toward the hole, and Gurko can't get that. Pence will keep right on the going. Here comes Kemp's throw, and it won't be in time. Well, 3 consecutive hits for the Giants here in the second. A home run and a pair of singles. Still no one out.
Well, there's no doubt the mistake being hit by Hunter Pence was one right down the middle. This is a changeup. And, you know, even though it's elevated a little bit, Brandon Crawford rolls over the top of it, and it's just a two-hopper that Jed Jerko can't get to. Hunter Pence turns it on. Thought they may have had a chance, but first and third action for the Giants. Still nobody out.
So Belt makes it to third on the single by Crawford. And here's Blanco. Homered last night. He's been a nice surprise this year, batting at .304. Giants threatening to have a big inning here in the second. A run already home, no one out, runners at the corners.
Well, this is where you need the strikeout. Nobody out, first and third. You get a strikeout here. You get the double play in order.
Infield back except for Solarte at third. Alonso holding on the runner. That's a strike. Blanco in his fourth year with the Giants, his best average .265 with 3 home runs. So he's way above his norm so far this year. That could be 2. 1 there. Amarista to first. A double play as the run scores. But the Padres will trade the double play for the out. It's 2-0 Giants.
A lot of baseball left, and that is the play. You get 2 quick outs. You got to score 1 anyway to try to win, correct? And the Padres get a good pitch out of the hand of Despaigne for the double play. It's a good way of bouncing back.
So a couple of 4-6-3 double plays here in the first 2 innings. Here's Hector Sanchez getting the start tonight behind the plate for Buster Posey. Just 32 at bats for Sanchez, and he rolls this one to Alonso, and Yonder will take it to the bag himself. That's it for the Giants, but they plate 2 and have an early 2-0 lead. In Padre history, 2006, Padres catcher Mike Piazza joins the 2000 hit club with a second inning double at San Francisco's AT&T Park. Piazza with 2,000 base runs. We advance to the last of the second. The Giants getting 2 in the top half of the inning. Hunter Pence with his 5th home run of the year. The solo and then a couple of singles and a ground ball double play brings in the second run. Jed Jerko takes strike 1, middle of the order. Jerko, Alonso, and Norris against Chris Heston in the Padres second. Two strikes on Jerko. He's had some success, limited in head-to-head with Heston, 2 for 4. A ball, 2 strikes. So again on Heston, and what a long shot he is to make such a loud noise this year. Ryan Sabian, the senior vice president, the GM of the Giants, who's done a terrific job putting together a team that's won 3 World Series titles in 5 years.
Finding that one piece of the puzzle at the trade deadline or whoever it might be. I mean, going back to 2010, you think of Cody Ross and what he did for the Giants for them to hoist the crown. Then 2012, 2014.
And down goes Jerko on the breaking ball. Second strikeout for Heston. Brings up Yonder Alonso. So back to Heston. His minor league record, 46 and 45.
Yep.
And as we said, cut loose by the Giants. No one picked him up. So San Francisco said, stick around, kid. And here he is having a superb rookie season at 27.
Isn't it amazing? When I look at Chris Heston, I see some confidence out there. Great poise. He trusts his stuff. He's got a tremendous moving 2-seam fastball. And he works quickly.
Yonder Alonso, the Padres' top hitter, 288. Takes it outside. Out of play. No fade in the game of Chris Heston after he threw the no-hitter. Since that no-hitter early in June, he's 3-1 and a 2.63 ERA. He's apparently the real deal. Two balls and a strike to Yonder.
Not getting that high call on that 2-seamer. He's the guy who predominantly likes to work down in the strike zone. If he's going to miss, he wants to miss down below the knees. Like that.
Did he go? Yep. Clint Fagan. Third base, the umpire, and the count is even at 2-2. Off speed and a full count.
Well, that pitch we just saw was a curveball. Looks like could be maybe his third best pitch. That tighter breaking ball being the slider. Seems like it's 2-seamer, slider, and then maybe a curveball for a look, and then a changeup.
Ground ball right side, a couple of hops to Panik, over to Belt, 2 away, 5 straight for Chris Heston. Pretty dramatic stuff. Just a couple of months into your rookie season in the big leagues in New York. Strikes out the side. 9th inning and a no-hit, no-run game for Chris Heston.
And doing it on the big stage. For the Manzana Grande.
A 2-seam fastball ends the game, and pride and joy of East Carolina University. A big moment. Derek Norris, strike 1 to him.
Wow. Now that's a line. That's a great night in the big leagues there. 110 pitches.
No walks, so there must have been an error in the game or a hit batsman to prevent the perfecto. A ball and a strike. Norris takes strike 2. Information here. The reason that was not a perfect game, he hit 3 batters.
Oh, that'll keep them kind of shaking in their boots.
Right.
Nothing wrong with a little bit of wildness. Oh.
Sanchez thought he had strike 3, but doesn't get the call from Fairchild.
Oh, that was a pretty good pitch right there.
And Chad Fairchild raises up as that's what usually happens when an umpire is going to call a strike. And he said, no, not good enough. Looked like it might have gotten a piece of the black on the outside corner. Off the fist and an easy roller to Panik. And Norris is gone. 6 up, 6 down for Chris Heston. Rocky Long, the head football coach, San Diego State, will be joining us in the top of the third. And back on Fox Sports San Diego will be the Rocky Long football show each week, debuting August 27th before the Aztec season opener in early September, September 5th. They'll host, I guess they are the host. San Diego University is their opponent, and Chris Budden will be the host of that show. And the Aztecs are picked to finish first in the Western Division of the Mountain West, as Despaigne goes to work on the pitcher Heston. And our annual visit with Rocky Long, a big baseball fan.
I love baseball, and I love the Padres too.
And your team, let's see, when will they start practicing seriously for the fall season?
August 6th is our first practice. By then the Padres will be in first place.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, what time August 6th? Because I know you got it marked down on your desk. You can't wait. What time is everybody reporting?
Oh, they're there at 7 o'clock in the morning, but we don't practice till 4 in the afternoon.
There you go.
Heston fouls it at the plate. Well, all the folks I talked to say that watch out for the Aztec defense. They were very good. They were top, 20 last year, and you've got most of those guys back.
Yeah, we got most of them back. I think we're going to be really good in the defensive line. You saw Christian Hayward throw out the first pitch. He's about a 300-pounder at nose tackle, and we're going to be good in the secondary.
Line drive to Amarista. So Heston, not a bad hitter. 9 hits and 35 at-bats this year. Lines out to short. One away here in the third. Well, they were 7-6 last year, San Diego State. A very strong 7-6. Got them into a bowl game for their 5th consecutive year. 8 of 11 defensive starters coming back, and that'll be a nice way to begin the season against crosstown University of San Diego.
Yeah, it puts a little pressure on us because I think people think we should win, and hopefully the people in town will like to see that game. That's kind of the idea, to play crosstown rivals and get it going with the fans.
Pagan blooped a single his first time. Ball 1.
You guys have really nice seats up here, you know.
You can come up anytime, man.
Okay.
We know some people that can get you up here. I do have a question for you, Coach.
Okay.
What is it about last year's team that's different from this coming up year's team that might be a positive, more of a positive in your success?
Well, I think that everybody knows we have the best running back in the league right now, in DJ Pumphrey.
What makes him? Well, didn't he set a sophomore record last year?
He beat Marshall Faulk's record, which is unbelievable. And we didn't know we had a guy like that when we started last season. I think we're stronger at quarterback this year because we have 3 competing that I think all can play.
Pagan, ground ball to Jerko. Second baseman busy tonight on both sides, and there's 2 away. Well, look at the schedule. Some notable games. The opener against the Toreros. Then you go to Cal Berkeley and to Penn State. Whoa, who made that schedule?
Well, I'm not sure who made the schedule, but we've been trying since I've been the head coach to get home and home with all the Pac-12 schools. And we've got them almost done. We've played Washington State and Washington already. We've got them all done except SC and Oregon. The rest of them we've got sewed up over the next few years.
Good. Put yourself on the map by playing the top teams in the West, and you're getting the reputation of delivering one yourself.
Well, we like playing those kind of people to prove that we belong, but I also think it's a chance for the fans here in San Diego to see those teams in San Diego.
What type of lobbying does it take, Coach, for you to play a USC, a team of that caliber?
Well,
is it your part? Is it the athletic directors?
Well, it's mostly athletic directors, but both schools have to be willing to do it. And SC doesn't mind playing us. They don't want to make it home and home. They want us to play in the Coliseum. And we want to play everybody home and home. I think that's a chance for the fans here to see the Pac-12 schools in San Diego. It's a chance for us to have a huge home crowd, even though maybe a lot of them would be for the visiting team. But we could fill up the stadium, and it's good for everybody.
Jim Sturk, the AD at San Diego State, with Ron Fowler, the chairman of the board. And Ron Fowler very generous in his supporting both universities. A hot shot to Amarista. Good glove work, and he throws out Joe Panic. 1-2-3 inning for Despaigne. Stay another half inning, Coach. It's just halftime for you.
Okay. I mean, these are better seats than I normally get when I buy my own, so I don't mind being here.
First pitch, the big guy is Christian Hayward, a 300-pound defensive tackle. Watch his pitch. Woo! Get out of the way. And Donnell Pumphrey, DJ Pumphrey, the running back. Well, anyone would look small compared to Hayward, but how big is Pumphrey?
Well, legitimately, he's about 5'8" and about 170 pounds.
He runs scared then, huh?
I don't know. He looks bigger on the field. I know. I'm glad he's on our team.
All right. So the Padres trying to get a base runner. Will Venable leads off here in the third inning. Rocky Long, the head coach at San Diego State. As we approach the football year, he went around Venable. And 1-2 the count. Well, your first year coaching as an assistant coach in college or universities was when and where?
Well, I don't remember the year. I think it was 1977. It's so long ago that's hard to remember. But I think it was 1977, and I was a running back and quarterback coach at the University of New Mexico.
And how is Rocky Long different today from that young assistant coach?
Well, I don't run very fast anymore, and I can't demonstrate the drills anymore. But I think probably more knowledgeable, a little cooler and calmer.
Does that mean you're not as tough?
I hope that's not what it means. I don't like that idea.
No, I talked to some of your players. They coaxed me to ask you that.
Oh, okay.
What's one of the things you're most stickler about, Coach? Any particular part of your coaching as far as your players are concerned? What's the one thing that you demand of your players?
Oh, effort. And everybody makes mistakes, but if you can't make the mistake of not trying hard.
Melvin Upton with a one-hopper to Duffy at third, and that's 8 in a row retired by Heston. Brings up Despaigne. Now he's got to face the toughest man in the Padre lineup tonight, Despaigne.
Have you seen him hit, Coach, Despaigne?
I have. I come to quite a few games, but when I'm not here, I watch on TV. I know the roster pretty well. Yeah.
Well, he actually has a couple of hits, much to the total surprise of his pitching teammates. Because that's the kind of hitter.
Well, he's waiting for the right pitch.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, season tickets are on sale for the Aztec season. There's various plans, so check it out. We don't have a internet. Oh, yes, sir. GoAztecs.com. GoAztecs.com. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and our thanks to Rocky Long and all of us at Fox Sports San Diego. Look forward to your weekly show and a great season.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Hubba hubba.
Trade focuses on the 6th inning last night. Talk about the great throwing arm and the accuracy of Derek Norris. The strike him out, throw him out. Always a great play, and it wasn't even close. Look where Alexi Amarista catches the accurate throw from Derek Norris, well out in front of second base. Ian Kennedy loves it, points to Derek Norris, gives a little love to Alexi Amarista. Oh, it's all good.
Norris's 26th throwout of a man trying to steal.
And Dick, that created some excitement in that dugout and some momentum for the Padres last night.
It did indeed. Snuffed out a potential rally by the visitors as the Padres went on to a 4-2 win. Despaigne goes to work here in the 4th. Matt Duffy leads it off. He grounded to second his first time. And Rocky Long leaves. We searched throughout the ballpark to find another football player.
Yeah.
We went to the University of Maine and found this guy.
A black bear. How about that?
Are they tough up there?
Oh, were they tough.
You went there to play football.
I did. I played football for 1 year and then gave it up and chose baseball.
I think you made the right choice.
I think I did too.
What position were you?
I was a quarterback. Really? Yep. I wore my baseball hat on the sidelines and did a lot of clipboarding.
Well, they've had good programs throughout the year.
It was good. They actually do a really nice job, and I was fortunate to go to that university. It was a lot of fun. Black Bears. They'll get you.
Why weren't you the Lobsters?
I don't know. The Lobsters
line
are good.
past the diving Solarte, and here goes Duffy to second base, and digging out the corner Venable. So the rookie Duffy continues his outstanding hitting. He ranks second in batting average of rookies, and he's fourth in extra base hits and tags on another.
Dick, Mark Sweeney, we talked about the hanging breaking ball to Hunter Pence for the home run. This was another breaking ball that just caught too much of the plate and enabling Duffy to get out in front and keep that ball fair on the hanging breaking ball. Odrisamer Despaigne has to make an adjustment on that pitch.
Yeah, it looks like he's settling into that secondary stuff a little too soon and not having that fastball command that creates those problems with the breaking ball.
Pence homered his last time, a long shot to left center, 434 feet. So a lot of fans in San Francisco were weeping Pablo tears when Sandoval went off to Boston, but look what Duffy's done is his replacement. More runs, better average, more home runs than Sandoval has accumulated with the Red Sox. Ground ball to third. They can look the runner back, and the throw across gets Pence. Holding at second, Duffy.
Hey, good pitch. Good play by the Padres. Keeping that ball in front of the runner at second base, enabling him to stay there. You know, he inside outs that ball to the right side. He moves up 90 feet. But with the runner on second base, Duffy, as soon as this ball is hit, looks like a high changeup. And Pence was on top of it off the end of the bat, Mark Sweeney.
Yeah, and you see that. He's getting it away with that elevated stuff, which is really easier for the hitter to make adjustments with. The high breaking ball, the changeup. You get some guys out front.
Brandon Bell dumped a single into center field, his first at bat, and scored on the double play. It was after the home run by Pence in the second. Belt with a single, and Crawford rolled a single through the right side. Blanco hit into a double play, and Belt scored to make it 2-0. Inside, Belt, a Longhorn, University of Texas as a pitcher, freshman and sophomore year, and then gave up his work on the mound to become a hitter, and a good one he is.
Hook 'em horns.
Kind of like Mark Kotsay, what he did in college. Closer for the Titans.
He loved to pitch, too. He loved to finish the games.
Yeah.
One and one. Time called as Despaigne taking a little too much time for the taste of Belt. Amarista, meanwhile, with a modest shift, is playing almost behind second base, so he can keep Duffy close. Two and one. So basically, so far this game, while the Giants do have 5 hits, the damaging blows have been off the breaking balls and the off speed. He's keeping up the reputation, the fastball being his best pitch.
Yeah, I think it is, and he has really enhanced himself in getting that consistency back. They're not looking for Odrisamer to go deeper in the game, and yes, you'd love to have that, but they're looking for 5-6 innings out of him and turn it over to the bullpen.
I think sometimes, guys, that he underestimates the effectiveness of his fastball. He needs to execute corner command on that because he can get up to 93 with movement. If you can locate 93 with movement, you're going to be pretty successful.
First base open, so he doesn't have to give in to Belt here at 3-1. And he gets a strike at the low outside corner.
Yeah, and that's the fastball there, down and away, that he has to have because it's really hard to square that up. And also moving forward, you know, maybe the time in between pitches. He works slowly at times, and when things aren't feeling right, trying to get into that groove.
Full count. And outside, ball 4. That's his first walk allowed. First and second with 1 out, and it's time for our Arco top tier profile. Odrisamer Despaigne against the Giants. 5 games, 4 starts, 2-0 with a minuscule ERA under 1. 133 batting average against coming into this game, but the Giants have collected 5 hits, including a home run so far.
Well, Dick, you think about setting up the rotation, and obviously he hasn't been pitched since July 4th, which is a long time. But those stats really tell you what you have to do to map it out coming out of the All-Star break.
And a visit from Darren Balsey, the pitching coach, maybe just a little breather as well. But with 1 out, you got to force at any base. Everybody was on the hill for that conversation.
So you go back 17 days since his last start. Now he has a rubber arm. He can start, he can close, he can be the long reliever, but that's a long layoff.
It is, and you know, it's the responsibility for a pitcher to pitch off the mound, to pitch whether it's every 3 days in the bullpen, flat ground work, long toss work. You know, Despaign's been around the block many, many times, so he knows his routine.
See, he's been cuffed around the last 3 games. Those are not against the Giants, but his last 3 starts.
But I always wonder that, guys, too, coming over from Cuba, and you're not having the minor leagues where you're developing guys' work ethic and figuring it out. And up here at the big league level, it's almost assumed you're going to work hard and follow suit in working on your routine, what works for you personally. He didn't have that opportunity. It's so different over in Cuba coming over here. So at the big league lifestyle, sometimes you can slip into that comfort.
Sure, absolutely.
Well, the weather has to be suited well for Despaigne. You can see his perspiration. It's been humid ever since the weekend rains. Last night, remember, all the pitchers perspiring heavily. Stay loose, all right. Again, he's ahead on the count, 2 strikes. Padres set for a double play. But instead, it's a high, deep fly ball to right. Kemp is back, and Crawford has hit it out. His 13th of the season, and it wasn't a fastball. Giants on the 3-run shot by Crawford jump ahead 5-0. And the Giants fans who have migrated down to San Diego for the series enjoy the home run ball.
Another hanging breaking ball, and that one hurts also. Remember Hunter Pence, he had him 0-2, but then he wasted one 1-2 for the home run. That was 0-2. Wow. Got to bounce that one. Got to make that adjustment.
Crawford having a terrific year. That's his 13th homer, his career high, and we're just mid-July. 58 runs batted in. He's in the top 10 in the league and knocking in runs.
Yeah, known for his defense, but he's starting to put it all together offensively.
Ground ball up the middle off the bat of Blanco, and Amarista at short throws him out. 2 away. They measure the home run by Crawford at 390 feet. Well, you think about this Giants team. They have one of the better hitting infields in all of the league. You know, you go around the horn, Belt's a threat. The 2 kids on the Panic at second and Duffy at third, and then throw in Crawford. I mean, they've got some punch.
Yeah, they got some punch and also good defenders, a good all-around team, and you know the reason why. The difference to me for the Giants and where the Padres are at today is that the expectation level, expectation of winning. It comes from your leader, Bruce Bochy, but also throughout the coaching staff. These guys know what they're trying to build upon.
I mean, you go back to the success of the Giants starting back in 2010 when they won the first World Series, the first of 3. And you take a look at the overall offense. Now, when you look at this lineup, would you expect that? Probably not. But you're right, Mark. Back in 2010, they had their backs up against the wall in the playoffs. 2012, the same thing, but it's some type of formula, whatever it is in that clubhouse and that dugout that the Giants believe in. They get on this tear, and the results are raising the trophy 3 times in 5 years.
Guys, you got to have talent, obviously, but you got to have the expectation, and they have built that throughout their organization. Talking to our good friend Tim Flannery, they play a lot of close games at their home ballpark. Obviously, around NL West, you're going to play this as you see Sabian that really constructs a lot of this roster.
Up the middle, and Amarista ranging behind the bag to throw out Sanchez. But the damage done, a double Duffy, a walk to Belt, and a 3-run home run, Brandon Crawford. Game tonight here at Petco. Mission Fed donated over $38,000 to Rady Children's Hospital. Fund was raised by the credit union employees of Mission Fed and member donations. Mission Fed donates around $1.5 million a year to local charities. Good on you. Well, while the Giants have exploded for 5 runs, Chris Heston has not allowed a base runner through the first turn in the lineup. Jan Solarte leads off the 4th inning. Ball 1. Solarte, Amarista, and Kemp against Heston, who did not walk a man through the first 3 and struck out 4. Solarte hit the ball hard, but lined out to right field. First time. Tough man to strike out. In fact, he's the 6th hardest to strike out in the National League. Whoa.
Yeah, Dick, to your point, I think that's the reason why you see Jan Solarte at the top of the order, because obviously he's versatile because he can switch hit, but it is tough to strike out. And when he is hot, he gives you that little bit of energy that really is needed in a Padre lineup.
There's a strike, 3-1.
You got to be willing to take pitches at times, take strikes. You have to be unselfish in this role.
Heston works quickly, doesn't he?
He most certainly does.
Way out in front, a long drive, but that's into the second deck down the right field line.
And with the 5-0 lead, he can afford to be very aggressive and pump that zone.
Well, Chris Heston, highest run road support. How about 8.5 runs per game? Get me out there. I'll pitch again tomorrow. Fly ball into the left field corner, and a play there for Blanco. 10 in a row.
Hey, Padre fans, tweet your strongest fan photo. Use the hashtag. That's hashtag SDDataStrongFan. You just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile.
Does that mean you have to have a lot of muscles to have a strongest fan photo? Here's 2 guys.
Just a minute, Dick. We're taking a picture.
Okay. Oh, pardon me.
Let's do that again. Dick interrupted us.
Okay, pardon me. I'll get out of the way.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, yep. We'll send that.
Yeah, that'll be strong.
Use the wide angle on this boiler.
Us and our 3 chins.
Strong anti-follicle program with those 2 guys. Amarista grounded to third his first time, takes a breaking ball low, 2-1. Well, the Dodgers lost tonight again in Atlanta 4-3, so whichever team wins tonight, a chance to gain a full strike against the Dodgers. But the Giants are only 3.5 back at the start.
Larry Baer of the Giants there in the checkered shirt, of course orange. He's the president and chief executive officer. That's CEO, you know.
Yeah.
Big cheese.
3-2. Padres still in quest of their first base runner. Ground ball right side. Panic able to close the hole and get rid of Amarista. Quite a run of outs for Chris Heston. And here's our National University standings. We talked about the NL West. At the moment, with the Dodgers losing, the Giants are just 3 back. The Padres 8 back, along with Arizona and Colorado 11 out. Arizona and Miami are scoreless in the 5th inning tonight.
Mark, we talked about Matt Kemp prior to the game. Talked about his swing. What is it you see in his approach at the plate with that swing of his recently?
Well, it looks to me, one, he's starting to stay in the strike zone. You see the balls in play and the direction, and you see the home runs. And yes, his pull power, but those 3 home runs to center, very important. Matt Kemp has to get out of that pull mode, and he's been doing that much better. He's basically tracking it with his eyes much better, getting in that hitting zone where he's a lot stronger and sitting down on his legs just a little bit more.
You often hear that more of an athletic position.
Well, the crazy thing too is if you're sitting on your
Well, we told you in the no-hitter, the only base runners were 3-hit batsmen, and he drilled Matt Kemp. I can't believe that's an intent with a 5-0 lead and 2 outs, but you don't want to pitch to him. And there is a clubhouse silent rule that if you're going to walk him, just pitch him more inside.
Let's see where this one gets him. Oh, that's near the fingers. Notice where that ball ends up. That's not a glancing blow. That's a solid blow to the, is it the upper hand, the right hand, fingers? Off the wrist a little bit.
Fortunately, it didn't hit the wrist flush. That's a scary pitch. Yeah, get in the batter's box. Watch this one coming.
Yeah, exactly right.
Oh, man. The sound was frightening.
You know what's scary, guys, is so many pitchers will try to expose Matt Kemp in off the plate to get to that slider down and away. And we've seen a lot of those running fastballs of late to try to make Matt Kemp uncomfortable. That's a little too close.
Jerko struck out the first time, and he pops up this time. Center of the diamond. Crawford near the bag at second. And through 4 innings, the Padres without a base hit. 5-0 San Francisco.
You want to affect players. You want to help players feel like $1 million and feel their best self and a sense of confidence like never before. If you want to get to that point, there's different ways to arrive at it. It's not always patting them on the back. It's not always having a close relationship. There's different ways to, to put the needle in them and get them to move.
That's something you don't want to miss, an in-depth interview with manager Patrick Murphy tonight. SD Live with Mike Pomerantz right after the post-game show here on Fox Sports San Diego, and Pat Sun will also be a part of that interview, so stay with us right after Padres Live on Fox Sports San Diego tonight. So the Giants, trying to even the series, have jumped out 5-0, and here in the 5th inning, Chris Heston, who can swing the bat. We saw that he lined out to shortstop his first time, hitting .257 on the season, so he can pitch and he can hit. 9 for 35. Takes a pretty healthy cut, but goes down swinging. And for Despaigne, that's his first strikeout. Fastball got him.
Well, and you also see the fastball movement on that pitch, and I think that's what we're trying to stress of what he does real well, and have confidence in that pitch. Not only are you throwing that different arm angles, but you can locate that ball down in the strike zone and also have movement in the strike zone.
And I think you should trust that more. And I think if he's going to throw that curveball that's been hit out twice, you have to make an adjustment and either bounce that or have your catcher just pick it off the back of home plate.
Pagan, a bloop single and a ground out to second.
And both home runs also when he was ahead in the count. 0-2 and 1-2.
The Giants with injuries to PV and Kane at the start of the year, and then losing Hunter Pence with a fractured wrist. Began the season staggering 3-9. They're pulling it together slowly but surely. No surprise there. Foul back. Their only current problem or concern, they want to get Nori Aoki back in the lineup. He's hitting .317. Is a left-handed pitcher in the bullpen with Jeremy Affeldt on the shelf. They've had some trouble late getting left-handed hitters up. There's the slow curve, and this time it works in Despaignet's favor.
Well, to your point, Dick, and Bruce Bochy understands how to manipulate a bullpen. When you have those weapons, both left and right down the bullpen, he is a master at matchups.
Ground ball left side. Amarista has to charge and hurry, and just does nail Pagan. 2 away.
Hey, not a bad play right here by Alexy, because he's got to circle around this ball, catch it in front of him rather than the backhand and then the transfer. See how he positions himself? He fields it on his left side, glove side. And then you got to be clean and quick with the transfer. Gets him by a half step.
Yeah, and guys, when you get to the side of that baseball, it's easier to read the hops, and that's the reason why he takes it on the short hop. A nice accurate throw by Alexy.
Joe Panik is grounded into a double play and a hard ground out to second. Back to the bullpen against left-handed hitting. Sergio Romo has a 1.089, 1,089 OPS, and Casilla also over 1,000. So they're looking forward to Affeldt returning. They have brought up a young left-hander. Josh Osich. 2-1. So if you're just joining us, a couple of home run balls tossed up by Despaigne, and the Giants have a 5-0 lead. A solo shot, Hunter Pence, and a 3-run homer for Brandon Crawford. 3-1. Such a valuable player, Hunter Pence. How can you not like this guy, even if you're an opponent?
Yeah, the only thing you don't like is his on-deck swing.
Ugly.
2-out walk to Panik. That's the second base on balls. The other one set up the 3-run home run in the last inning, and that brings up Duffy. Ground out and a double for Duffy.
That's what's great about any sport. Each player has their own way of preparing for an at-bat. And when you see Hunter Pence on deck, as you mentioned, Mark Sweeney, yeah, it's a straight Tin Man. He needs some oil.
Yes, he does.
I mean, herky-jerky, you can almost hear.
Nothing at all orthodox about his swing. Even the way he wears his pants.
There it is. Right there. Drop it right in there.
Yeah. And look at the pants. Look at the breeches above the knees.
Shot to short. Backhand Amarista gets the force. Well struck by Duffy for the out. And that's it for the Giants in the fifth. We're at the halfway mark in this one. Padres need 5 to tie.
Long talking about the upcoming season, and I am joined with his star defensive back, J.J. Whitaker, who is also on the Jim Thorpe Award watch list. Congratulations. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks a lot. I really appreciate that. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, your defense last year was ranked one of the best in the nation in several different categories, and you return 11 guys this year. That's pretty good. When you look at this team, how good can they be?
Oh, my gosh. We have a great chance to be good, and I think with Coach Long and his tenacity that he brings to us, as long as we take that on the field, we'll have a great time this year.
Give us a scoop of what Coach Long is really like during fall camp as you guys are getting ready for that first game against USD.
Did you say what he's really like?
What you can tell us. I think he might be listening.
Yeah, he definitely is, and, you know, if you have a talk with him yourself, you would definitely figure it out. And I think we show what he's like on the football field, you know, with our top in the nation and, you know, what we bring to the game and, you know, just our black defense swarming to the football.
Well, you guys also got to throw out the first pitch, and Christian Hayward and DJ Pumphrey. Hey, Hayward's got like a 95-mile fastball. What'd you think about their first pitch?
90 miles to the right. Stick to football, buddy. Keep your hand in the dirt. That's where we like him.
Sounds good. I appreciate the time. Looking forward to September 5th at Qualcomm.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having me.
Dick, guys, back to you.
All right, Chris, thank you. And thanks to J.J. Whitaker. You know, DJ Pumphrey came up to the broadcast booth to say hello to us. And you just heard Whitaker. They're two really articulate young football athletes. Rocky Long not only has a tough team, he's got a bright team. Way outside to Derek Norris, who grounded out the first time. This inning is open with Alonso grounding to short. One out in the fifth. The Padre bats are quiet, and Chris Heston pitching another beauty for the Giants.
Hey, if I'm Heston, I'm sticking to the two-seam fastball away. With a 5-0 lead. Bottom of the fifth.
A reminder tomorrow at 12:30 game time, 12:40. It's way back Wednesday. The uniforms of the 1985 and 90 teams for the Padres will be worn by the current team. Low and away, 2-2. And the first 20,000 of you in attendance will receive the knockaround sunglasses.
Oh, those are nice.
I'm getting here early.
Aren't you always here early?
Yeah, but I want my glasses.
Actually, it's free. It's for him. That's not how it goes.
Last year, took him to spring training. They
I love
the
them.
purpose. Yeah. Full count now to Norris.
Multiple base runners and a big hit. At least the Padres get on the board and get something shaking here.
Yeah, you got to put him in the stretch. He has not been stressed at all tonight.
Feeling very comfortable in that windup, working quickly.
Full count and a bouncer to short. Crawford gets the big hop and guns it over for the out. Couple of assists for Crawford at shortstop, and two gone in the fifth.
Well, Professor, I know you're going to be leaving town Thursday, but Mark Sweeney and I wanted to, first of all, congratulate you.
Thank you.
It's going to be a big weekend for you, my friend, and for people to watch on the induction ceremony in Cooperstown for your Hall of Fame induction. Where can people watch it and see
It's
it?
going to be on the MLB Network at 1 o'clock San Diego time. And stayed up all last night to write the speech. That's the only time when it's quiet around the house. And, you know, when you're writing, you need to have a block of time. And if you're interrupted every 10 minutes, then you go back to writing, you're 30 minutes behind. You got to catch up again. And I just hope that I'm able to represent all of us that love this game well.
You'll do great.
You will.
We're rooting for you.
Yeah,
have
you.
fun.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
It's a great honor, and we're very proud of you getting honored the way you are.
Yeah, thank you.
So once again, Saturday, MLB Network, 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock our time. And the beauty of it all is that even though the writer and the broadcaster are honored on Saturday and the Big Four on Sunday, that all of the past Hall of Famers and the four that are being inducted, they're on the stage behind us. So it's you're still rubbing shoulders with the real stars of the game. Huh?
Oh, it's going to be great.
I can't wait to get to that K line. He took right field away from me when I was 18. 1-2. Man,
he hit the bull.
Boy, Heston has had a few that have really gone awry and rubbing that hand. It is a high humidity night here, unusual for San Diego.
Oh, wow. Look at that! That looked like a slider just worked underneath it and just kind of lost grip of it, and next thing you know, it's back to the screen because his fingers worked around that ball a little bit. I don't know whether that was a slider or it's a two-seamer. He just didn't stay on top of it.
Yeah, that's similar pitch to Matt Kemp that traced in on the hands of Matt Kemp.
Venable takes strike 3 on the inside corner. Another 1-2-3 inning for Chris Heston. And the buzz is starting to get louder and louder at Petco. Chris Heston pitching a beauty. Here is the finale of the Braves-Dodgers game. Jock Peterson unable to make the catch of that fly ball off the bat of Juan Uribe, and for the second straight night, the former Dodger Uribe punishes Los Angeles with a winning hit. And there are the totals, with the Giants leading 5-0. Hunter Pence to lead off the sixth for the Giants. Solo home run and a ground out to third. Fastball misses, ball 1. Boy, Pence, he just winds up and throws his body on his swing at the pitch. Look at the widespread stance. You see a guy like that, how do you pitch to him?
Well, it's very violent setup, and he's all limbs. You can see looking and hunting for a certain location.
He got a hanging breaking ball and clubbed it 434 feet. Left center field in the second. That was his 5th home run of the year.
Mark, you and I have talked about Hunter Pence at great length for many years. I remember you telling me one thing. All the stuff that he does before, just throw that out the window. As soon as that front foot hits, you freeze it and then where his hands are, and you always tell me it's in the perfect position.
It's in a perfect position. Doesn't matter what you do beforehand.
Lines it to Jerko, handcuffs him, and Pence aboard on a base hit. Too hot to handle, and Pence has his second base hit. Leadoff man aboard for Brandon Belt.
Well, you see Hunter Pence just hunting that pitch. When he gets his foot down and you go a couple more frames down, that's the hitting position right there. Then it becomes violent, and he has that flat swing through the baseball. You can see he gets length through it because that lower half is going towards the ground using that leverage. And watch the length he gets through the baseball. Yes, he barrels it up, but head down on the baseball. Perfect balance. Nice hitting by Pence.
That shot to second for a base hit has brought Pat Murphy to the mound. He's going to the bullpen. Dale Thayer had been warming up. We'll see who's coming aboard. It is Thayer. Time for our Fan Diego fan of the game, and look who's here. Head coach Steve Fisher of the San Diego State Aztecs. They're occupying the Western Metal Supply Company upper deck, having a good time. He's a big baseball fan.
And what a great man he is.
Yeah. They don't come much better than Steve Fisher. He's going to be good too. You know the Aztecs are going to have a winning season. So Dale Thayer enters. And our pitching change brought to you by El Cajon Ford.
Well, it's been a while. Dale Thayer last Friday. That was in Texas before the All-Star break. He was in there July 10th. Trying to stop the bleeding here, quite frankly. Down by 5. Halfway through this one.
Brandon Belt, a looping single and a walk tonight. Better lettuce. Is that referring to Dale Thayer?
Good call, Professor.
I like that.
I remember Mark Sweeney had me in stitches once on the charter when we were talking about hair, and he dropped a nest.
Yeah, it is a nest.
That's quite a nest.
You hide a lot in a nest.
Yeah, that's a hidden ball trick in there. Up and in, 1-2.
I wanted to ask you too, Mark. I mean, the long layoff for some of these guys. Obviously, Despaigne not pitching since July 4th. What does that do? You know, do you have to stick to your routine? How many times do you have to throw? What's that program?
You know what?
All
I would guess. Well, I can only speak what I've done because during All-Star breaks, when you and I were playing, I'd bring the glove home. I'd play catch with a friend. I'd maybe go to the ballpark if I stayed in San Diego, wherever I was playing that particular time.
Thayer gets Belt swinging.
Nothing better than to get on the horn and call a former buddy of yours, hey, you want to play some catch, play some long toss? But, you know, these guys, I think, need more of a mental break. You're always going to have the aches and pains, right, as a player. But to get away from this game mentally for the break, that's one of the big things. But I think staying in shape, these guys are in such good shape all year round.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's not that tough to really bounce back after a long break.
Crawford, a 3-run homer his last at bat. He also has a single tonight. The Heart and Hustle Award nominees have been announced today, and the Padres, Derek Norris, and for the Giants, Brandon Crawford. That'll be voted upon. Of course, the initial vote is only players, so that's an honor in itself that your own teammates have voted for you for the Heart and Hustle Award. And then they'll be involving players, managers, and you fans as well for the final winner, and that'll happen after the season's over in New York City.
I think it's a great choice.
And it's a terrific award that goes to active players who demonstrate. There's another base hit for Crawford. Over is Kemp. On his way to third is Belt. First and third for the Giants here in the 6th.
Mark, the one thing I noticed.
I had Belt going over to third. That's obviously Hunter Pence.
He really did a nice job, Crawford, getting his hands in and pulling that baseball, staying on top of it.
You got to pull your hands in, and first to third by Hunter Pence. He ducks the line drive, and easy read for him, knowing it's going down the line to Matt Kemp. But you're right, Mark, pulling your hands in for Brandon Crawford. You're seeing a much better offensive approach by the shortstop.
Brings up Gregor Blanco. First and third, 1 out. He's grounded into a double play and grounded to short. Fouls it away. Just to finish the Heart and Hustle Award, it's to active players who demonstrate a passion for the game of baseball and best embody the value, spirit, and tradition of the game. Heart and Hustle. So Derek Norris, congratulations, the Padre representative, going to the finals along with that man, Brandon Crawford.
Yeah, great choices for both clubs.
Yep.
Nice stop by Norris, but that'll advance the runner to second. Crawford saw the ball loose and picks up the extra 90 feet.
Mark Sweeney, Mr. Enberg, that is a perfect example of a great secondary lead. Crawford on first base. He was leading off, shuffle, shuffle. You recognize that ball in the dirt. And guys, as soon as there's daylight, here as a runner, you're watching the trajectory, right? As soon as that ball hits the dirt, off, bang, you are off. Even the slowest runner can advance on a ball like that.
Yeah, and that ball looked like it hit the corner of the plate, which made it very difficult for Derek Norris to keep in front of him. A good read by Crawford.
Yeah, they're not going to let Blanco hit now. They're going to fill the bases and set up the double play. So bases will be full for Hector Sanchez, who's had very few at bats and is grounded out twice tonight, and the Padres hoping he'll continue that pattern and get a double play, get out of this mess.
Yeah, before this game for Hector Sanchez, 19 games, only 32 at bats. The switch hitters only grounded into one double play. Well, get a ground ball here, make a good pitch, take your chances.
Sanchez with only one RBI this year. Bases full of Giants, already ahead 5-0 in the 6th. 1 out. Pitcher Heston on deck. Well, tomorrow, the day game, James Shields will go for win number 9 against Matt Cain. Cain back from the injured list is 1-1. And then Marlins are here for 4 Thursday, Friday night, a 5:30 game Saturday, day game on Sunday. That ball is clubbed high and deep. How far? Wow. Another home run, this time a grandmaster for Hector Sanchez. With one swing, he goes from 1 RBI this year to 5, and it's now 9-0 Giants. That was a monster shot to right.
We see the location of the pitch, a fastball that runs right inside corner. And Sanchez takes a posing look at the big fly. And with that pose, Dale Thayer not too happy with him taking a look at it.
Off the bat, that was hit so high and hard. We thought we might see one of those rare shots that would hit that auxiliary scoreboard at the facing of the right field upper deck. So it's blown out now 9-0, but that doesn't mean it's not interesting, because we have another element to the story this evening. While the Padres are losing 9-0, how far will Chris Heston go without allowing a base hit? He's gone 5 innings so far. Heston has lined out and struck out as a hitter. So 3 home runs have accounted for 8 of the 9 Giants runs. Well, it didn't go as far by measurement as we thought, but a pretty good shot, 428 feet. For Sanchez, it was his 10th major league home run. This is his 5th major league season. Ground ball to third. Solarte there. Throws out Heston. 2 away.
Well, let's take a look at that swing from Hector Sanchez from Dale Thayer. Down and in. He turns on it. Oh, the flip of the bat.
Yeah, I don't like that.
And neither did Thayer.
Yeah, there's certain ways to play the game.
Yeah.
And yes, listen, you're hitting the baseball and it's going far away. Just run the bases. You always got to respect your opponent. And listen,
Absolutely.
There's emotions in the game, and whoever has a tough time with that. But I have a problem with that.
And the Padres dugout had a bit of a problem in Matt Kemp being drilled by Heston.
Exactly right.
Something may come of all of this.
I don't blame Dale Thayer. It's not a good time for a bat toss.
1-1 to the leadoff hitter Pagan, who has a bloop single and a couple of ground outs. Well, he obviously doesn't hit many, so quick to celebrate. That would have been a home run in any major league park.
You know, guys, there was one gentleman who I really respect till this day, but when he hit a home run, and you guys are going to know exactly who I'm talking about, Matt Williams.
Yep.
When he hit a home run, he put his head down, and it was like he was going to go for an extra base hit. He put his head down and ran the bases with his head down, crossed home plate, shook hands with the guy, and right back to the dugout.
And your point too, Mark, I agree with you. Matt Williams and then Scott Rowland sticks to my mind. And you think about what those two players did in this game for a long period of time. That's where it really sets you apart. When you do that and you play the game right, everyone's not going to play the same way. Yes, there's some showmanship in the game that
has escalated over the years for the past 25, 30 years because of television and replays and all that good stuff.
3-2 now to Pagan, and for the old timers in that category was the greatest hitter in my mind in the history of the game, Ted Williams. And he ran the home runs with his head down, circled the bases, didn't even raise his head until he got into the dugout. Full count. And a high fly ball to right. He just missed that. And Kemp circles in under it for the final out. But 4 more for the Giants on the grand slam by Sanchez. And it's now 9-0 behind Chris Heston, yet to allow a base hit. Only 25 miles from Petco Park. By Pixels in theaters July 24th. And by Mercury Insurance. Log on to mercuryinsurance.com and see how much you could save. Dale Thayer, an unhappy soldier in that Padre dugout, gives up 3 of those 4 runs. The other charged to Despagne, who leaves the game with 5+ innings, 6 runs, all earned, 7 hits, 2 walks, and a strikeout on Despagne's card. Melvin Upton grounded to third his first time, and he goes around 1-2. Upton, and then Will Middlebrooks is in the on-deck circle, apparently to hit for Thayer. Quackenbush working in the Padres pen. Boy, when Heston's wild, he is really off the mark.
And Mark, as a hitter, when a guy's wild like that, are you still locked in? Are you still a little apprehensive maybe?
Yeah, it's uncomfortable, and that's the reason why you think about the differences of minor league baseball to the big leagues. It's control and command. Minor leagues, they throw harder, and it's all over the place.
Broken bat looper. Is this going to be the first Padre hit? Oh, my. There goes the no-hitter on a broken bat looper by Melvin Upton. That's why it is so tough to throw a no-no. You make a good pitch, you shatter the bat, and the hitter's strong enough to loop one into center field.
Oh, and the bat snaps in half and literally gets caught in the screen.
Wow, that spear, fortunately the netting kept it out of the crowd.
It's like at a birthday party, you're trying to break open the piñata.
Yeah.
Where's all the
Take
candy?
a whack at it.
But be careful when that thing falls now, guys. Come on now.
Need a cherry picker to get somebody up there to pull it up physically.
There's a lot of pine tar on that bat, too.
Oh, this is going to be all over the internet for this guy. Spider-Man at Petco Park.
We got to get his name.
It's Spider-Man. Just doesn't have his costume on.
That's unreal.
He'll get Chris Budden on the case. So a leadoff blue pit for Upton, the first given up by Heston tonight.
It's our American Gladiator participant.
Here's Middlebrooks. Strike one.
He's working on the steeplechase next, right? Jumping over the water.
He can do it all.
Middlebrooks took a lengthy extra batting session early today at the ballpark, trying to get his swing. He's down to 213.
Well, I'll be quite honest with you. You hate to lose a game, you hate to get no hit. So if you're going to be losing 9-0, the last thing you want to do is have the Giants celebrate any type of history-making moment. Chris Heston already has a no-hitter in New York. We documented that. You don't want to have another one here tonight.
Here's Upton with a shattered bat, and just out of the reach, the second baseman Panik, and then the rescue mission. Tarzan.
Ooh, the umpire got that one.
I'm thinking about that old baseball expression for the guy physically looks like he just can beat the world, and the scouting report reads, built like Tarzan, hits like James. So Chris Heston, let's see now that he has to pitch from the stretch, whether the Padres can get to him. It's a pretty tall mountain at 9-0.
You know, guys, he doesn't look comfortable with that arm side. You're seeing a lot of that run that hit Matt Kemp, and also a lot of those running fastballs. And look out over the plate. Obviously, with 2 strikes, you have to battle, but everything on that arm side has been running into the right-handers.
Two balls, 2 strikes to Middlebrooks. Another foul ball. So Upton represents only the second base runner tonight for the Padres. The other was Kemp, hit by a pitch in the 4th inning. He gets him off speed. 6 strikeouts for Chris Heston. Back on April 9th, Angel Pagan tossed his gum at the feet of Derek Norris. And Norris scraped it away, and they had words. And now Dale Thayer fires a gum fastball at Sanchez after he flipped his bat on the home run.
Yeah, not cool.
Ground ball to second, Panic to short for one, back to first. A double play. So quickly, the one hit of the game for the Padres. That base runner erased on the double play, and we've completed 6 at Petco with the Giants 9, the Padres nothing, and a grounds crew member A+. Bombers. Hunter Pence starts it with a long home run in the second inning. 1-0. Couple of singles, and then this ground ball out. A double play. Scores the second run, 2-0. And back with a home run ball. A 3-run shot. 4th inning. Brandon Crawford, his 13th of the year. And in the 6th inning, a grand slam off the bat of Hector Sanchez, his first of the year. It all adds up to a 9-0 Giants lead behind the one-hit pitching, a broken bat single of Chris Heston. Our Harrah's game summary. So in a game of this sort, how do you save your bullpen? We'll see. Kevin Quackenbush comes in to work the 7th inning.
I think that's exactly what Coach Dave Roberts and manager Pat Murphy were discussing looking at that lineup card. They're going to piece this one together as Kevin starts the 7th. Last time off for Kevin was on Wednesday. That was back at Pittsburgh before the All-Star break. July 8th. 3rd of an inning for the right-hander.
1-1. The attendance tonight, another terrific crowd. Bolstered by thousands of Giant fans. 35,596. So the 2 games of the series attracting over 70,000. And one would expect tomorrow with the sunglass giveaway and great San Diego weather. Looks like it'll be a rubber game of the 3-game series. It might hit 100,000 fans for a 3-game weekday series. 2-1 and 3-1 to Panic. Grounded into a double play first time. Sharp ground ball out to second in the 3rd and walked the last. Foul ball off 3rd that Solarte can't get to. Back about 3 roads to a sea of orange. Again, the Dodgers have lost, so the Giants, if they hold this big lead, will be just 2.5 out of first place. They finish the road trip here tomorrow afternoon, then they go home for 3 with Oakland over the weekend and 3 with the lowly Milwaukee Brewers. Center field hit well. Upton going back. A line out off the bat of Panik.
Good first jump for Melvin Upton Jr. in center field. He pulled the ripcord. Parachute comes out, kind of easily works his way underneath that one for the out. Easy for me to say.
You pull that ripcord, you know, that can get right into your vocal cords.
Yeah.
You know. Pulls your tongue.
Hey,
our producer Max Michalak in the All-Star break skydive. Can you
How
believe
about
that?
Max? I'm very proud of him.
Yeah. I guess the screams when he left the plane could be heard all the way to Tijuana.
Now that's a leap of faith.
That's a strike. It's the outside corner. Matt Duffy has a double and a couple of hard ground outs.
You skydived before, haven't you?
Not skydived, but just to jump off a cliff and with a parachute.
You know, I remember my mom and dad always telling me that as a kid. Hey, go jump off a cliff.
No, hang gliding is a little different.
Okay.
It's leaving that plane at that velocity before they pull the chute. It's got to be a little bit worrisome. But at least you know right away whether when you step off the mountain, and you know right away if it's going to work, because if the parachute either does or doesn't. He said, "Aren't you afraid when you're up there 6,000 feet?" I said, 6,000 feet, 200 feet. What difference does it make? Yeah. It was a thrill. I just felt no sound. You feel like a bird. Wish I could eat like one. Drop about 10 lbs.
Wow. Busy line score, busy box score for the Giant hitters. Only Blanco, the pitcher spot, and Panik hitless.
9 runs, 9 hits, 3 home runs. A solo, a 3-run homer, and a grand slam. Duffy grounds to Amarista for the second out. And our closed captioning is brought to you by Wiener Schnitzel. Hunter Pence, 2 for 3, a home run and an infield hit. He handcuffed Jerko at second base with a 1-hopper and a ground out to third. 2 for 3, 2 runs scored, 1 RBI. Look how far up the handle he is for a big man, and still gets all that power. I mean, you expect that from small infielder.
Yeah, like a
That's
Punch and Judy
physical.
hitter.
Yeah. Just get the barrel on the bat. I think back to the great second baseman for the Chicago White Sox, Nellie Fox, who in the 50s and 60s, he was way up, big barrel, way up in the handle. But a man of Pence's size to choke up that much, it works. Whoa, there's a wave and a miss, strike 3. 1, 2, 3. Quackenbush does a good job in the 7th. It's still 9-0.
Jeff Brokaw. He's the one that climbed up the net and got the bat out, which some pretty heroic moves. They're now calling you Spider-Man in the booth. This job has a lot of funny things to it as a groundskeeper. Where does this rank on maybe the oddest parts of the job?
Oddest part? Well, in San Diego, I guess we've had all these rain delays this last week. Been pretty tired. I didn't know if I'd had the strength to get up there and get that bat, climb that net. But, yeah, I've never had to do anything like that before. All the eyes were on me. People were yelling at me at the stands to climb up the net. I didn't know if that was the right move. I kind of thought I was going to get in trouble for doing that. But
was this like a rock, paper, scissors, short end of the stick kind of deal?
Well, I was the younger one in the group over here. So I looked over to my coworker and said, do I have to get that bat? He said, yeah. So I ran and got a rake and tried to hit it out, but it was stuck in there pretty good. So climbing was the only option, I guess.
Some good moves. I have a feeling that may become like a... That might be your big break. That might become a thing on Twitter and social media. So congratulations.
Sweet. Thank you very much.
Dick, guys, back to you.
Chris, tell him Barnum and Bailey's already called asking for his cell phone number.
Will do.
Amarista is grounded to third, grounded to second against Chris Heston. Again, the only base hit, a broken bat that was rescued from the netting off the swing of Melvin Upton. Amarista, Kemp, and Jerko here in the seventh.
Well, 88 pitches for Heston. He can just rear back, try to throw that two-seamer over the heart of the plate and let the movement do all the work, especially if he keeps it down. Still create a lot of ground balls. A lot of worm killers right here. This at-bat. Tough to square up.
Count remains full on the little ninja. Chris Heston cruising along after his 10th win of the year. And the leadoff walk. First walk allowed by the right-hander. And time now for our Bill Howe play of the game. We searched desperately, and here it is. The Bill Howe play of the game. A broken bat looping single. The excitement coming from our grounds crew hero, Spider-Man. Nice going.
Crowd got a kick out of it. And Melvin Upton Jr. breaking up the no-hitter. Certainly don't want to get no-hit at home.
Matt Kemp drilled by a Heston pitch the last time. Shift is on. Strike one. Defensive change. Justin Maxwell has gone into left field for the Giants, with Blanco moving to center for Pagan. Ball and a strike to the red-hot Matt Kemp, who looking for a hit here to extend his streak to 9 straight games. Struck out the first time. Big hole, the whole right side if he wants to go that way. 1-2. Maxwell in left. Blanco left to go to center field. The last at bat for Matt Kemp for a moment looked to be very painful, as even in super slow motion.
You know what, Dick? I look at this, and it is amazing that Matt Kemp is still in the game. You hit a finger with a fastball, and it was not a glancing blow back to the screen. It went straight up. That means it's flush. I mean, he's lucky he didn't break a finger.
Looked as if it hit him twice in the wrist and then in the chest. Here's real time. That could have been very serious. The sound enough to shake you out of your boots. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Amarista at first. And Heston off the mark, 3-2. Now at 96 pitches.
Jose Valentin, the first base coach, doing a little instruction over there with Alexi. Don't get caught on the line drive. Let the line drive go through. You don't want to get doubled up.
Foul tip. He's still alive. Kemp. This is a boon to the bullpen of the Giants, who came to San Diego overworked on this road trip. In the last 4 games, 17 2/3 innings from the bullpen. With Chris Heston getting deep into the game, into the 7th inning. That must be a comforting role for Bruce Bochy to see him so effective tonight. High fly ball right center, not quite enough behind this one. Pence is there near the warning track for the first down. Our game tonight presented in HD by Sony 4K.
Oh, that fly ball to right field. That was the 98th pitch for Heston. He's thrown as many as 112 this year. In that no-hitter against the Mets in New York, he threw 110 pitches, and there you see the breakdown tonight.
Threw 112 very early in this season against Colorado. So he's been over 104 times. I'd probably like to see him get the full 7. Ball 1. So tomorrow, game 3 of this series. James Shields try to come up with a big game and win his 9th of the year against Matt Cain. The veteran is 1-1. We'll be on the air at noon here on Fox Sports San Diego. 100 pitches for Heston. And Osich continues to throw in the bullpen, the left-hander. Jed has struck out and popped to short tonight. Heston totally muting the Padre bats, and the only time he didn't, he broke it. It cost him a base hit.
You know, that's one of the things you have to live with as a sinker baller like Heston. You're going to get a lot of infield hits. I mean, you throw that nasty 2-seamer in, a guy gets jammed, and your third baseman's respecting your power, and you give up a hit here and there. You give up a little blooper. If you elevate a 2-seamer, you break his bat, gets stuck in the backstop, but next thing you know, he's on first base.
Way outside, and the count runs out 3-2.
Heavy dose of breaking balls down and away to Jed Jerko as Sean Kelly heats up for the Padres.
To your point, Heston has had only 3 balls hit to the outfield tonight for outs, and then the bloop single by Melvin Upton. Ground ball to third, could be 2. There's 1. Panic back to first. A double play. Through 7. The Giants in command.
Nothing ball game. The Giants lead this one. Got to stick around. We've got a very good post-game show for you. We're going to talk with the Fox Sports MLB insider, Ken Rosenthal. He'll give you the latest all around the league on who are the buyers and who are the sellers. He also touches on the Padres. In addition to that, we've got a preview of a very special SD Live tonight. Following us on the post-game show immediately, we have Pat Murphy, the interim manager of the Padres, with us. Very telling interview, very candid. In fact, his son Kai, 14 years old, joins us as well. Talks about some of the lessons in life that Pat Murphy has imparted on his kid. We'll talk about the relationships and the dynamics there as well. In addition, around baseball, interesting highlights to boot, including one man who has hit for the cycle. So we'll have all that for you and a whole lot more coming up tonight after the final out when we see on Padres Live, the post-game show brought to you by Cox Communications. Now back up to Dick and Mark, guys.
All right, thank you, Michael. Sean Kelly makes his 30th appearance. He'll face Brandon Belt. Brandon Crawford, 3 for 3 with a 3-run homer. And then Gregor Blanco. Belt, a bloop single, scored. 4th inning, he walked and scored. Struck out the last time.
Well, once again, another long layoff for Sean Kelly. He pitched at Texas prior to the All-Star break. It was 1 inning against the Rangers. He struck out 1. So Pat Murphy trying to get the relievers in this game, trailing 9-0. Thayer, Quackenbush, Kelly.
That ball had a sound of a long drive, but Upton makes the catch right at the lip of the warning path.
Well, Dick, as promised earlier in the game, we have selected the Data Strong fan photo of the game. Tweet your strongest fan photo too. Use the hashtag #SDDataStrongFan for a chance to be featured in an upcoming broadcast. Brought to you by T-Mobile. Hey, Kurt, thanks. Fun at the old ball yard. At Kurt Smith 22.
Well, 1 out to Crawford, working on a big night with 2 singles and a 3-run homer, and he scored twice. With 3 RBIs, 58 on the season. That'll possibly move him up from number 10 in the National League. That's where he started tonight. Well, you get that kind of offensive production out of your shortstop. Changes defensively. Clint Barmas in at shortstop. Amarista moves from short to left, and Venable from left to right, as Matt Kemp is out for the rest of the night. So his 8-game hitting streak ends tonight. Dave Roberts there with Kemp after being hit by a pitch. Might as well take an at-bat off. And finally, the Padres get Crawford. First strikeout for Kelly.
A good slider by Sean Kelly. Opportunity to get an inning of work in and pitch and go out there to the mound in this deficit as if it's nothing to nothing. You still have to make good pitches, good concentration level. It's been a long layoff. Get back into that groove.
Knock off some rust.
Yes.
Blanco has grounded into a double play, grounded to short, and was intentionally walked in front of Hector Sanchez in the 6th inning. That loaded the bases, and Sanchez then hit the home run, grand slam. Shot to first. Nice pickup by Alonso for the out. A 1-2-3 inning for Kelly. Padres will lead off the 8th with Yonder Alonso.
Baseball brought to you by 5-Hour Energy Shots. Have you tried great tasting 5-Hour Energy lately? By Petco, what we feed them matters. And by your San Diego Lexus dealer. With Mark Grant, Mark Sweeney, Chris Button, Dick Enberg, welcome back to Petco Park. Bottom of the 8th inning, Chris Heston back out on the mound. Working on a gem, a one-hitter will face Brett Wallace hitting for Alonso. As Manager Murphy giving his bench a chance to see some action. Alonso tonight grounded out twice. No one threatening their average tonight. Wallace followed by Norris and Venable here in the 8th. Change up 0-2. Madison Bumgarner, the ace, the left-hander.
He and Tim Hudson exchanging some notes down there on that bench.
Hudson, the loser last night. Jake Peavy, we won't see him in the series. Nor Bumgarner.
Yeah, but tune in tomorrow for the pregame show. Have a sit down with Jake. Talk about old times here in San Diego.
Great. Yeah, I'm anxious to hear what Jake has to say.
Yeah,
what a favorite.
Good egg. But I know you really enjoyed watching him pitch.
The Bulldog.
Yeah.
As a fan, before I became engaged here with the Padres telecast, as a fan, if he was pitching, I was by the TV set. Justin Upton resting that sore side, and hopefully he'll be in the lineup on the weekend. And with the trade deadline just a week and a half away, probably the biggest question involving the Padres. Will Upton remain with the club? He wants to. You know he's going to make a huge amount of money in a contract next year. He's a free agent. He's got tremendous value for a team fighting for a pennant. But the other side of that issue is, what is another team willing to give up to trade for Upton? Another foul.
Well, right-handed power bat. We've seen the ball jump off his bat. Is that Osich? Yes, it is. Continues to throw for the Giants.
Two and 2, 111 pitches now. 112 coming up. Right back over the middle. That's Panic behind the bag, and he makes the play look easy. One out, and time for the Cholula flamethrower.
All right, well, Heston's not going to light up the radar guns. Topping out at 92, the sinker baller, the slider baller, the curve baller, occasional changeup, and that's very mild.
Norris has grounded to second, grounded to short. So 112 pitches is a third start of the season against Arizona. The high coming in for Heston, and now 114 tonight. And 3-0 to Norris. He's got to be running low on fuel.
Yeah.
What a night. And the 4-pitch walk, his second walk, and he hit Kemp. And the broken bat hit by Upton, the only base runners. And a change made as Adrianza goes in for Brandon Crawford at shortstop. Bruce Bochy out, going to make a double switch. We're going to see the left-hander
Osich. And what a night. I mean, just think, but for a broken bat, dying duck to center field, Heston would be and out in the 8th inning with a no-hitter. He deserves the hand as he walks off a foreign ballpark, but that was a masterful performance by Chris Heston.
While we have a moment, Saturday it's coming up. It's an MLB doubleheader, starting with the A's taking on these Giants. Then at 4 p.m. Pacific, the Braves battle the NL Central leading Cardinals in a game you can only see right here on Fox Sports 1, that is. And then coverage begins at 1 p.m. Pacific, only on Fox Sports 1, and it's streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Get your baseball fix right here on Fox.
So the lefty Osich, who has fought his way through injury after injury in his career, and finally to the big leagues, facing Will Venable. 1 out. Norris on a 4-pitch walk at first base. Osich, as Adrianza goes in at shortstop, he'll hit 9. I mean, you need a notebook and lots of pages to chronicle this left-hander's career. 2009 ulnar nerve surgery, 2010 Tommy John surgery, 2011 tore subscapula muscle and shoulder, 2012 impingement, 2013 radial nerve injury, 2014 another impingement. Goodness. Veritable hospital ward. He's only had 1 full season since his freshman year in college without an injury. Played at Oregon State with Giants catcher Andrew Susac, who is on the current 15-day DL.
This guy's been cut on more than Wayne Newton.
Has upper 90 stuff. You get a left-hander who can throw that hard.
Yeah.
If he stays healthy, you got a prize.
And you have to admire the tenacity to keep going.
Drive to left field. That's slicing into the corner. A tough play. And it is a foul ball. Justin Maxwell trying to track it down into that blind corner at Petco. Venable back to the plate. Norris back to first.
Ooh, that was a catchable ball for Maxwell, but the wall kind of creeping up on him a little bit. So Will gets another chance.
Strike 3 called. 95 on the fastball. And for the third time tonight, Venables strikes out.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the San Diego Padres and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
Melvin Upton Jr. From the Giants' point of view, he's a demon tonight. Spoiling Heston's bid for a no-hitter with a broken bat, soft fly ball to shallow center field. Runner goes, ground ball up the middle. Tough play for Adrianza, but he makes it. And that's it for the Padres in the 8th inning. And Sanchez, the catcher, with a grand slam his last time, will lead off the 9th for the Giants. Damage, 8 of the 9 runs on home runs. And one of them a grand slam by Little U's catcher Hector Sanchez, who took Thayer very deep to right with a bases drunk. Thayer mad at himself and mad at the fact that Sanchez tossed the bat to rub it in a bit. That joins the 3-run homer by Crawford and the solo blast by Hunter Pence, and the Giants in a runaway 9-0 win.
And that's one of those things that, hey, you get in a room with 10 people and, hey, do you take exception to that? Some people do, some people don't.
I would take exception to the opposing team hitting my hottest hitter.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that'll be in the memory bank.
Hey, it's just one man's opinion. I didn't think it was cool.
So here he is. He had grounded out twice before the grand slam. I'm guessing that's his first ever Major League Grand Slam. He has only 10 homers in his career. Wallace stays in the game at first base for Alonso. Two and one. Kelly working his second inning. Retired the side in order in the 8th with a strikeout. .95 from Kelly, but he misses 3-1. Chop to first, easy play for Wallace, and the unassisted put out. And that'll bring up Adrianza. And a little chatter going on here as Sanchez and Kelly jaw-jacking, and the umpire is saying stay back in your dugout, and the Padres now come out. Yeah, Sanchez wants some action. Looks like Some of the Padres saying, come on here. And the umpire's doing a good job of trying to separate the flow from both dugouts. Bochy out there to.
Sean's doing a lot of John as well.
Yeah. Primarily between Sanchez and Kelly. You know what? Frankly, I'm surprised in light of the start of the at-bat to Sanchez that Kelly didn't get him. And I really thought, considering what had happened, and to answer for Kemp being hit by a pitch, that if anyone deserved one, it was Sanchez.
Well, there were two pitches during the course of that at-bat were definitely inside at the belt buckle. Inside as Dale Thayer witnesses the bench clearing and retreats back to the dugout.
Well, get a little adrenaline spent. Nothing serious. So here's the out, and watch Kelly was over to cover first. He's going to say something to Sanchez as he does the U-turn, and Sanchez takes offense. And you can probably figure out what that exchange.
And yeah, it looks like warnings will probably be issued as the umpire, home plate umpire Chad Fairchild now points to both dugouts, indicating such.
And the Padres will see Sanchez tomorrow. Maybe, although Buster Posey, this might just be a one night off. San Francisco picked a good night to give Posey a chance to rest. Scoring 9 runs in support of Chris Heston. Adrianza just called up from the minors. Struck out last night as a pinch hitter. 2 for 13. The 2 hits coming left-handed. One and 2.
Frustrating game, no doubt about it.
Well, his toss of the bat when it's 9-0 is tossing salt in the wound when you're the opposing team, and there's no way you can like that.
Hey, and you know what? I can't speak for Sean Kelly. I can't speak for the Padres, but it seemed like that was the perfect opportunity if, in fact, somebody did want to get back at Sanchez.
Yeah.
That wasn't the case.
And it was Kelly who initiated the verbal exchange. And Sanchez responding. You know, again, the beauty of this game is it's a shellacking one night. You come back tomorrow and you play for the series.
And I've mentioned it many times before. Some nights you're the windshield, sometimes you're the bug.
Yeah. And going all the way to the back rows of the Jerry Coleman press box. Yeah, the Knights of the Keyboard ducking for cover.
Henry Shulman from the San Francisco Chronicle taking cover.
Swing and a miss. Justin Maxwell batting for the first time. Maxwell, with the injuries to Aoki and Pence, really filled in nicely first half of the season. And down he goes swinging. 6 up, 6 down. Good effort by Sean Kelly. Bottom of the ninth, the Padres trying to avoid their 14th, 15th shutout. I love baseball fights. You get a lot tougher when somebody's pulling you away from the fight. Now you're saying, come on, let me at him. Well, that was a rare electric moment for the Padres here tonight. So here's the situation. The Padres have been shut out 13 times, trying to avoid 14. That would lead the National League. And the Giants, meanwhile, are shooting for their 14th shutout from their pitching staff. Clint Barmas batting for the first time in the 9th spot in the batting order. Had a good season. He's come up with some key home runs, hitting over 280.
Yeah, I talked to Clint before the game along with Mark Sweeney behind the batting cage, and he was sharing some thoughts and just feeling good about that swing of his. Coming up with that big home run the other day. There are good eggs and then there's great eggs. Clint Barmas.
And he pulls this one down the left field line. That's got some depth. Maxwell in the corner, and it's just foul. Barmas flirts with extra bases there, and in that short porch and left, just under the 336 marker on the brick wall, you can get about the easiest home run pulled to left field. It was well wide. But you can see the barrier is only 5 feet there.
Well, as I was saying, this guy, Clint Barmas, is a great egg.
Is that a double yoker?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good one.
You get those now and then. Double yokers.
That must be good luck.
I think it is, yeah. It's in that 4-leaf clover category.
I have yet to have one my entire life, so.
Well, you got to go to a chicken ranch more often. I know what to get you for Christmas now. Ground ball to third, foul ball.
That ball actually looked like it was going to kick back. It was touched in foul territory by Duffy, but Clint Barmas will get another whack at it. Hey, stay tuned. Padres Live, the post-game show coming up. Mike Pomerantz, Mark Sweeney going to talk about this one, talk about all the goings-on in Major League Baseball as we approach the trade deadline.
Hey, you know they're going to come up with some great material, and then stay tuned for SD Live and that terrific interview with Pat Murphy. Low and 2-2. How many O's in smooth for Mike Pomerantz? Have you counted them lately?
I think it's a world record. I would go more than 5.
Smooth, huh?
He does such
about that.
Yeah, that's really good. I'm impressed. He deserves it.
Yeah, we are impressed with him. Barmas takes in the dirt again, 3-2. Well, it appears the longest winning streak in the season for the Padres, 5 in a row, is going to come to an end, just as the Giants' 6-game winning streak was snapped last night by the Padres. San Francisco of late not faring well here at Petco. They've won only one of the last 8 before tonight. Ground ball sharply. Duffy has to back off on it. It plays him and rolls out into left field, and Barmas is aboard. And that'll be an error on Duffy. Hope you'll be with us tomorrow, noon, Fox Sports San Diego, for the 12:40 start. Matt Cain, James Shields. That's a terrific matchup. Cain, of course, on the injured list. This will be only his 4th start of the season. And Shields will be seeking his 9th win. Batting right-handed, rarely. Not too many chances for Solarte from the right side, hitting only 193. 0 for 3 tonight. A line out, a fly out, and a ground ball double play. Belt playing behind Barmas at first base. 2-0. Ground ball foul. Well, this would have been this date, July 21st, the 116th birthday of one of the most notable American writers, Ernest Hemingway.
Wow. Sun Valley, Idaho.
He was, he's born in Oak Park, Illinois.
Right. I think he. That's right. He's an Illinois guy.
Yeah. Nobel Prize winner for what book do you think? I know you.
Old
know that.
Man in the Sea.
You got it. Line drive, left field. That's going to be a base hit for Solarte off the head of the bat, and the Padres have a chance to snap this shutout bid by the Giants. The second hit on the evening for the Padre offense.
Oh, I love the Phantom Camp, so it's worth a second look as the barrel of the bat follows through. Does he fight it off down by the label? Yes, it is. And look at that bat wiggle. And that translates all the way down to the hands there. Hand comes off the bat. That'll rattle those knuckles a little bit.
Well, it wasn't the end of the bat, but down near the label. And the single to left field, 2 on. And no one out as Sean Kelly looks on. Amarista, a couple of ground outs and a walk. Austin Hedges is in the on deck circle.
Yeah, didn't Papa write also a farewell to arms?
Yes. He was a master of colorful writing without getting overboard in his technique. He wrote
just straight to the point.
Simple sentences. They weren't long involved, but he got to the point and was able to describe so well without being verbose. I can remember as a kid seeing the movie Old Man in the Sea with
Spencer Tracy.
Yeah, with my father, and how touched I was, and then of course reading the book, and that's one worth a reread, huh?
Mm-hmm.
2 on. And a swing and a miss by Amarista. 1-2. Left center field, slicing away in the gap. A dive by Maxwell, can't get it. Runners had to hold, so everyone moves up 90. On a base hit by Amarista. The bases are loaded with no one out.
Well, you want to avoid the no-hitter. Now you want to avoid the shutout as Amarista gets jammed a little bit down by the label. Adding another base runner now for the Padres. Multiple base runners tonight here in the ninth. Oh, what a good effort by Maxwell. Lays out and backing up is Blanco.
So Righetti trying to settle down Osich with the bases loaded. Started with the error by third baseman Duffy on Barnes' ground ball. And Solarte and Amarista top of the order at single. This would have been Matt Kemp's spot, but he's out of the game. And Austin Hedges is going to bat for Sean Kelly, who had been inserted into the 3 spot. Young Hedges seems to be improving with each opportunity with the bat. And a chance to do some damage here and boost that RBI count. 52 at bats is all, 8 hits. 2 of the 8 hits home runs. We're trying to put a Sanchez on that one. Repeat the grand slam. Barmes, Solarte, Amarista. Padre over every pillow. Trying to snap this 9-0 shutout bid by the Giants. Jed Jerko on deck. 2-1. Giants bullpen is now active. A right-hander throwing.
Even though 9-0 lead, bases loaded for the Padres. Bruce Bochy doing a little pacing. Osich, a 3-pitch pitcher, fastball, cutter, changeup.
High fly ball to center. That'll get a run home. Blanco makes the catch, tagging Esmaris to score. It's 9-1. Hedges credited with his 6th RBI, and the Padre fans are happy to see that whitewash washed away.
Nice, easy swing from Austin Hedges. Got something up and just put it deep to center field to get that sacrifice fly and get the run. Not trying to overswing.
Jed Jerko has struck out, popped up, and grounded into a 5-4-3 double play. So 2 on 1 out to Jerko, hitting cleanup with Justin Upton sidelined with that sore rib cage. Drive to center field. That's hit well. Blanco going back. Runners can't tag. 2 away. Hit it well. Didn't quite get it all.
Took the ball well where it was pitched. Just off the end of the bat a little bit. Avoiding the sweet spot.
So it's down to Brett Wallace with 2 on 2 out here in the bottom of the 9th. Wallace entered the game in the 8th inning and grounded out.
Good breaking ball.
6 for 21 in his limited duty, 4 for 13 as a pinch hitter. Second baseman Panic out in shallow right field. And here's a foul tip, gets Sanchez. Not a lot of sympathy from Sean Kelly for Sanchez.
Oh, that'll hurt.
Up in the groin area. Well, the Padres down to their final strike. See why the Giants are hopeful that Josh Osich stays healthy.
Yeah.
So that fastball, left-hander, 94 to 96 miles an hour.
Oh yeah, he can top out at 98. And Bruce Bochy always likes to have a couple of lefties. Got Affeldt on the DL.
That ball hit well to left center field. It's between the outfielders, and it's going to go all the way to the wall. That'll score Solarte, and here comes Amarista behind him. It is 9-3. Wallace with a 2-run double.
Well, in this inning, when you look back, Alexi Amarista did a nice job going the other way. Solarte hitting the ball well, and Brett Wallace staying inside this ball, sending it the opposite way as well. And on the Phantom Cam, and in real time, hey, good for Brett Wallace, driving in a couple, an extra base hit.
You know what else is good? The Padre fans that have stayed have hung in there with the club and cheering them home. Now we'll face Hunter Strickland with 2 outs. Wallace out at second base with a 2-run double. And Derek Norris the batter. Norris walked the last time and is 0 for 2, 2 ground outs.
Pretty good arm for Strickland. He can get up there upper 90s. Nice ERA, just below 2 at 1.9. Pretty much a 2-pitch pitcher, fastball, slider.
Norris can't find a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. Well, Bruce Bochy can't be happy with the fact that he had to go to the bullpen for Strickland.
Yeah, just to get another arm hot, get him in the game, that's takes a lot out of just one arm that you're hoping not to use in a game like this.
9-3 the score. Giants lead. And a fly ball shallow and left. This should do it. Maxwell comes in, makes the play, and it's over. San Francisco win 9-3. Sanchez grand slam, the key blow. And here's Mike Pomeranz.
Nick, thanks very much. Stick around, folks. We got a nice post-game show for you. We're going to hear from Ken Rosenthal, the Fox Sports MLB insider. He'll talk about buyers and sellers and a preview of SD Live with Pat Murphy.